Hi! Welcome to this part of my review featuring the Konosuba, God's Blessing on This Wonderful World, TRPG. If you haven't seen the other parts of my review, featuring this role-playing game based on the Isekai series, please check out the playlist in the description below. I also want to thank Naomi for letting me use her Spanish cover of the first Konosuba opening. The link to that will also be in the description. Now this time I am going to talk about the two character creation methods, the quick start method and the construction method. Let's start with the quick start. The quick start method is for when you want to get started right away. You have pre-built characters or templates to serve as character models or skeletons. That is, you only need to add a few finishing details, come up with a background and such, but everything is ready for you right here. Although I did spot an error when it comes to the first adventurer, he should be of the adventurer class, not the warrior class. So there is an obvious error when it comes to the sheet included in this rulebook. You can easily figure this out because the skills of this pre-generated character could only be achieved by an adventurer. As a level 1 character, you can only be equipped with that configuration of skills if you have leveled up in different classes unless you are an adventurer, so keep that in mind. Let's talk about deciding on the background of a character. When you choose your pre-generated character of those included in this rulebook following the quick start method, you have to come up with things such as the name, the gender, the age, but you also select an origin, a circumstance, and a goal for becoming an adventurer. This can be chosen from a number of tables, or you can randomly determine this as well. Let me give you more details about the life path. A character's life path consists of these three things: the origin, which describes your character's upbringing, a circumstance, which is an event from your character's past, and a goal, which is the reason your character undertakes quests. Your origin is your character's upbringing, the environment in which the character was born and raised into, unless you choose the reincarnated person race. In this case, the origin explains how your character ended up in the world of Konosuba. Let me give you a few examples of these origins, circumstances, and goals. You have these tables in the rulebook, and you need to roll two six-sided dice. One of those dice is going to represent the 1s, and the other one is going to represent the 10s. So you're going to get a result between 11 and 66. But of course, if you decide to choose your character origin, circumstance, and goal, you can talk it out with your game master before the adventure begins. You have different tables for the different races when it comes to the origin. Let's talk about the reincarnated person origins. Maybe you obtained the result of truck. You were run over by a truck, and now you end up in this place that you have never seen before, sitting in a chair, just like the beginning of the anime or the light novels. A lot of these origins have to do with your character either dying or being close to death and ending up in the world of Konosuba. Maybe your origin is violence. You got wrapped up in someone else's fight, sharp pain shot through you, and the next thing you knew, you were sitting in a simple chair. Maybe you obtained the result of video. You just happened to glance at a video, then you felt like you were being sucked into the screen. The next thing you knew, you were sitting in a simple chair. Or maybe you were walking through the park or the woods, and this thick fog appeared out of nowhere, and after moving into this sort of mist, you found an unfamiliar landscape sprawling out before you. Now let's talk about the origins of the native inhabitant. Maybe you obtained the result of hero. One or more of your parents are well known and respected by some as heroes. This has influenced you in many ways. Maybe you obtained the result of royalty or nobility. You are the child of royalty or nobility. During your youth, you received an excellent education. Maybe your result is demon. One or more of your parents are demons. A dreadfully dark bloodline flows through your veins. Perhaps you obtained the result of organized crime. One or more of your parents are members of an organization that does sabotage and assassination. You've seen it all, whether you wanted to or not. When it comes to the origins of the Crimson Magic clan members, maybe your result is civilian. One or more of your parents don't possess abundant magic powers despite being Crimson Magic Clan members. Instead, they lead a normal, down-to-earth life in town. Maybe your result is Wandering Mage. You traveled extensively with one or more of your parents. You've gone to many places and seen many things, but you never figured out why you were traveling. Perhaps the result is Sage. One or more of your parents were not only notable wizards, but also highly devout priests. Many people visited them to hear their words of advice. Maybe your origin is Ruler. You come from the ruling class of the Crimson Magic Clan. Your family enjoys a financial level free of any issue, and you lead a high-quality lifestyle. When it comes to circumstances, you have a single table for all of the races. Maybe your result is Fallen. Circumstances led you to losing your societal status, abundant wealth, or family honor. After that, your family was a shadow of its former self, fallen into ruin. Perhaps your result is Identity. You alone know of your true identity. You haven't revealed it to anyone. Will the day even come when you reveal your secret to someone? Maybe you obtain the result of Drifter. You've traveled the world, either by your own volition or because of a particular situation, and you're only here now as part of this journey. Maybe your result is Quiet Life. You've lived a normal, peaceful civilian's life without any particular trouble. Or maybe the result is Master. You have a master who taught you how to live and or the techniques and skills you know now. You also have a single goal table for all of the races. Perhaps your result is Forced. You act at the will of another, and it doesn't matter what you think of it, you don't have a choice. Maybe your result is Demon King. Your goal is defeating the Demon King. You will make a name for yourself as an adventurer, slay the Demon King, and bring blessings upon this world. That is why you act. Perhaps you don't have a goal, you don't have a particular drive right now. However, you are still living peacefully. That's what's important in life. Why get ahead of yourself and have some lofty goal? Or maybe you are searching for someone. Your goal is to find someone. Where could they be? You may decide for yourself what relationship you have with them and or the reason for your search. Then we have the construction method. This is when you want to customize everything about your character. First, you choose a race. Then you choose a class. The race is going to give you a particular value of attributes, base attributes. And the class is going to modify this by giving you some bonuses. So for example, if you choose the warrior class, you're going to be pretty strong, pretty sturdy. But if you choose the wizard, you're going to be somewhat fragile, but of a high intelligence. So that's how you start to customize your character. You also have additional bonus points to distribute amongst your attributes. Then you acquire skills. These depend on your race, on your class, and there are general skills as well. So for example, you have a few skills that you choose depending on your race, and then you have a number of levels to pick from the class skills. Maybe you want to acquire 5 different skills, that is, 1 level for each skill. Or maybe you want to put 2 levels in one skill, 2 other levels in another skill, and 1 level in a third skill. This would be a total of 5 levels still, because you have 2 plus 2 plus 1, 5. Then you choose a number of general skills as well. If you acquire the adventure character class as your starting class, when it comes to selecting skills, you only have a single skill to select from in the adventurer category, but you can also pick skills from any category whatsoever. So if you choose adventurer as your starting class or as your character class later on, you can select skills from any of the other class categories, but your attributes are never as specialized or as strong as the other character classes. You are a jack of all trades, master of none. It's important to remember that. You're going to be more like a support character most of the time. Next, you receive money to purchase equipment, weapons, armor, etc., gear. Then you determine your secondary ability scores. These are derived from your base ability scores. So you determine your hit points, your mental or magic points, action points, movement, and such. Following that, you determine your blessings. Blessings represent a character's power to stand against fate or to make fate their ally. With this power, the character can do great things, such as achieving feats beyond their normal capabilities and delivering even more powerful blows. All player characters have blessings as the protagonists of the story. We will talk about blessings in a future part of this review. On character creation, a player character has 5 blessings. You write this value in the blessing section of your character sheet, of course. Then you write down your character level, usually level 1 because you are creating a new character, and you determine your background, what I mentioned of your name, age, gender, any sort of detail related to your appearance, to your background, but you also determine your life path, as I mentioned, either through random determination or by choosing any of the origins, circumstances, and goals. But you will always have at least one origin, one circumstance, and one goal. Now, just to clarify things further, when you pick a race, this race determines your ability scores. These are further modified by your character class and by the bonus attribute points that you receive. Each character class is a category of skills. They represent the techniques, combat arts, and magic that a character knows. They span many fields. A character may have a great deal of knowledge in a specific topic, specialize in locating and disarming traps, be accustomed to wielding giant swords, or have the ability to use offensive magic. And of course, within these skills, you can raise your skill level, becoming more capable and powerful with each level up. But skills also have limits as to how much you can level up a particular skill. There are advanced classes with extraordinary skills and powerful boosts to your normal attribute values, but these advanced classes can only be taken when you reach level 10. So these are classes that you strive to obtain. Something that I like of these skills is that they are very easy to understand. I think it would be a good idea to create small cards because all of the information for a particular skill fits in a single card, or perhaps 2 skills could be fitted or put into a single card. Each of the skills has information on timing, that is when you can use that skill, the information on the check that you need to make to carry out that skill, the target and range of that skill if it's an attack skill, the usage requirements, the effects, what happens if you roll a critical when you use that skill, the description of the skill itself. All of those details are in a single small space. So although they fit great in the character sheet, maybe it's a good idea to keep them as cards. That's just me. You could handle it however you like. And this concludes this part of the review. In the next part we are going to talk about the character races and classes. I really like the character creation system. The fact that you have 2 methods to follow adds a lot of flexibility to how you want to start your campaign. If you have never played a role-playing game before, yes, maybe it's useful to start with the quick start method, but I really recommend that you create it all from scratch with the construction method. And it's going to be very fun to come up with some sort of customizable talent trees based on your choice of classes. That is, maybe you start out as a warrior and you move on to be a rune knight because you aim to be a crusader later on if you reach level 10. But it's important to keep in mind that there are some classes that are not very viable or practical to take as starting classes. For example, if you start as an elemental master, you're going to be useless. Your only skills are related to boosting your elemental spells. But if you don't know any elemental spells, what good is that? It's better to start out as a wizard, and when you reach level 2, then you move on to elemental master if you wish. We will talk more about the leveling up process in a future part of this review, but suffice to say, when you choose a new class as you level up, you can learn skills from that category. I also think that it's a good idea to talk with your group as you level up to see which class you're going to be learning from as you level up. For example, maybe you were a warrior but now you want to learn the skills of the thief. Now you change classes from warrior to thief. But in this case, the group no longer has a tank because the warrior is now the thief. Perhaps another character was a thief and now you want to level up that character as a warrior to fill that tank role. And you can come up with all sorts of creative and fun combinations Perhaps you want to play as a character that is stealthy, wields magic and uses a sword. Perhaps you start out as a wizard, then you level up as a thief, and next as a warrior, all the way towards crusader if you want to be the tank of the group. But if you want to be a ninja sort of character, you could pick the assassin class once you reach level 10, and benefit from all of the repertoire of skills that you have accumulated by switching classes. And there are many choices such as archer, creator, sword fighter, lancer. We will talk about these character classes in a future part of this review, of course. Thank you for watching this part. If you have any comments or questions, please let me know. And thank you so much to those of you that have been supporting the channel by sending drive-thru RPG gift certificates. If anyone else wants to further support the channel, the information on how to do that will be in the description below. Once again, thank you, and see you later.